This is how to get a flood of referrals to blow up your law firm. Watch closely because many law firms open the floodgates from a single referral strategy. And while the right referral strategy could be the one that blows up your law firm, all of its potential could be wasted if you don't follow the right steps. So how do you actually get a flood of referrals? And what do other successful law firms know that you don't? The best law firm referral strategies follow 6 simple steps. In this video, we'll cover them all. Whether you run a fee-based firm like estate planning or a contingency firm that responds to life events like criminal defense or personal injury. The first step is the one that is by far the most important and also the most overlooked. You could be the best lawyer in the world, but if you just assume clients are going to give you referrals, think again. Which is why step 1 is to stop assuming clients will just give you referrals. You have to create a system for asking for referrals. Most lawyers do a great job on the case, wrap up the case, and then send the client on their way, assuming that because they did a great job, they're going to send their friends and family. This is an ineffective way to approach client referrals, mostly because it doesn't work very well. Your clients don't see a business with expenses and overhead. All your clients see is a law firm that's there to solve their problems, because most people are only focused on themselves and their needs. And if you don't remind them that you need referrals, they won't refer anyone your way. So to create a steady stream of referrals, the first thing you need to do is remind the clients about referrals in the first place. That's why you need a clear, simple message that gently reminds clients about referrals. And the best part is you don't even have to ask directly or risk an awkward conversation. You can simply leave clues. For example, one of my favorites is a sign that I first saw in a dentist's office. It said, "Referrals mean the world to us and are the highest compliment. If you know someone who needs a new dentist, please let us know. They'll get a free cleaning and you'll get $50 off your next service." I also got an email from their office with the exact same message in the PS line. So now they've asked me twice for a referral without ever saying a word about it. The key is to put this message everywhere your clients will see it. Start with the PS in your email signature and make sure everyone on your team uses it, from paralegals to associate attorneys. Then add it to signs around your office and any other spot that clients are likely to notice. When people see the same message over and over, it keeps referrals top of mind without you ever having to bring it up directly. But before asking clients to spread the word, you need to give them a reason to do it. People are more likely to help when there's actually something in it for them. In the dentist example, patients got a $50 credit for referrals and the new patient gets a reward too. This works because both sides benefit. You obviously can't hand people cash, but you can offer value that fits your practice and stays within your ethical rules. For example, for a criminal defense firm, the new client could get a free expungement after their case, while the referring client gets a free traffic ticket defense that they can use anytime in the next 10 years. In family law, the new client might get an extra $250 credit toward their retainer, and the referring client could receive a free hour of work, like a child support or a spousal support checkup. For an estate planning firm, the new client could get a free power of attorney with their plan, while the referring client gets a complimentary plan update later on. The principle is simple. Reward both the new client and the referring client. Everybody wins and you build steady growth without clients feeling like they're selling out their friends and family. Now, one of the strongest forces in human behavior is social proof. Everybody wants to do what everybody's doing and nobody wants to do what nobody's doing. In fact, researchers once ran a study at a hotel and they were trying to influence guests into reusing their bath towels. For years, hotels tried appealing to guests' environmental values to reuse their towels. They put up signs that said things like, "Help save the environment, reuse your towel," or "Each towel washed wastes 5 gallons of water." But none of that moved the needle. But when they switched to a social proof message that said almost 75% of guests reuse their towels, towel reuse jumped to nearly 45%. And when that message got even more specific to the guest's own room, for example, almost 75% of people who stayed in this room reused their towels, that number went even higher to nearly 50%. So how do you use this force to your advantage and get tons of referrals? Well, if you want more clients referring you, make it feel normal and expected. That starts with using language like, "A lot of our clients refer their friends and family once they see how protected they are with their estate plan," or "Many of our clients send people our way after they see how smoothly we handled their case." This shifts referrals from being unusual to being something that clients naturally do. And nobody wants to be the only one not doing it. For example, tell people on average each of our clients refers 1.5 new clients to us, assuming that's true. Now this works in two ways. First, it acts as a sales tool. If I hear that most of your business comes from referrals, I assume that your clients must be thrilled with your service. And second, it reinforces social proof. If other clients are referring, I should probably do the same. So use referral numbers to your advantage. Talk about them, display them publicly, make them part of your culture. Because when referrals become the norm, you'll see far more people jumping on board. Now this next step is critical because you can do everything right up to this point, but if you miss this next step, you probably won't get the referral. Most clients have great intentions, but they very rarely follow through. That's why your message should say, "Let us know," not "let them know." A big mistake I see is lawyers leaving the follow-up in the hands of the clients. They say, "Just tell your friends about me and hope for the best." But life gets in the way. Clients walk out, get busy with kids, work, errands, and by the time they remember, the moment is gone, assuming they remember it all. That's why it's essential that you guide the process. One of the best ways to do this is by using a group text. Ask, "Would you be against shooting a quick group text message to introduce us?" Now you're both in the thread immediately. And for best results, take a quick selfie together and have them included in the text. That turns the referral into a warm personal introduction. If texting isn't an option, a group email works just as well. The key is to do whatever it takes to get them to make the referral in the moment. Do your best to avoid letting the client leave saying, "I'll mention you to them." Because once they walk out, the odds of that introduction drop close to zero. That small shift, from leaving it up to the client to making it happen right away, that will drastically increase the number of referrals you get. Now let's talk about another big driver of referrals, and one of the biggest reasons that you might miss out on referrals if you ignore this. It's called status. Now at the core, every decision people make, often without even realizing it, comes down to one question. Will this make me look good and raise my status, or will it make me look bad and lower my status? Clients will only refer to you if it's going to make them look good. If there's even a small chance that it can make them look bad, they won't risk it. But if referring you raises their status, they'll gladly do it. That's why building status into your referral system is so powerful. Now the first part of status is making sure that the person that they refer actually gets a good result. That means that your work has to be top-notch. The other part is making the client feel important, make them feel like a VIP. One way is to actually create a VIP status that clients can only earn by referring business to you. Maybe that's a private hotline just for VIPs to reach your firm. Maybe it's reserved parking spots at your office or other perks that money can't buy. The point is to make them feel both confident in your work and making them feel special and recognized. Another approach is public recognition. Most people haven't been celebrated and clapped for since they were in a school play in elementary school. At our client events, for example, we give away giant checks to clients who send us multiple referrals. They love the spotlight and everybody else in the room wants to be the one holding the giant check. You can also hold a board of directors dinner for your top referrers. Wine and dine them and ask them for feedback and let them contribute ideas. When clients feel like they're shaping your business, they become more invested and they're more likely to keep sending you referrals. The bottom line is you can't ignore status. The more you elevate the clients you refer, the more they'll want to keep that status and the more referrals you'll generate. Now let's shift gears and talk about practice areas like personal injury and criminal defense. These are very different from things like immigration or estate planning. They're not services people plan for in advance. They're more like calling 911. Nobody thinks, yeah, next week I'm going to get arrested, or next month I'm going to be in a car accident. It just happens. And because of that, the referral strategy that you want to use isn't about asking at the perfect moment. It's about reminding people that you exist on a regular basis. It's about staying top of mind so that when that emergency happens, whether it's to them or someone that they know, your name is the first one that they think of. And you do that by consistently providing value and staying in touch. Now, the goal isn't to sell anything. The goal is to share useful content, educate them, remind them you exist, and build goodwill. My favorite quote from Frank Kern is, "Prove you can help them by actually helping them." People are flooded with messages every single day, so if you want to stay top of mind, you need to show up on a regular basis. That could mean creating content on YouTube or short form posts on TikTok and Instagram, or even a weekly newsletter. And it doesn't have to be complicated. One of my favorite newsletters that I read every week is Sean Purry's 5 Tweet Tuesday, where he literally just shares screenshots of his 5 favorite tweets of the week. It's simple, consistent, and valuable. The goal is to create nuggets of content that your clients actually care about and that provide value to them. For example, one of our personal injury clients did this by building an online community for motorcycle riders. He didn't share stuff like what happens after you get into a motorcycle accident. Nobody cares about that. Instead, he shared safety tips, gear reviews, accident prevention strategies, real value that bikers actually care about. Then, when accidents happened, he was the first one that they called. In one case, after a fatal crash, a member of his group literally brought their laptop to a victim's family to show them his videos. That introduction led to a wrongful death case. That's the power of staying top of mind. Another great example is a personal injury attorney named Craig Goldenfarb. He sends a handwritten card every year for people's birthdays, and inside of each one, he slips in a scratch-off lottery ticket. Think about how memorable that is. People get junk mail all the time, but when you see Craig's envelope, you know there's a scratch-off ticket waiting inside. It's a personal and fun touch that only costs him $1, but it keeps him top of mind year after year. Then there's Kevin Hazlett, a criminal defense attorney. Everywhere he goes, he leaves 2 business cards. Starbucks tip jar, 2 business cards and a $20 bill. Eating at a restaurant, he leaves a 25% tip and 2 business cards. He told me you never know where your next referral will come from, so he makes sure that his name is everywhere. This investment has paid off many times over for him. And someone even told me once John Morgan used the same strategy. He used to leave a $100 bill and a business card every time he valeted his car. And then you've got someone like Dan Newland, who takes client appreciation to a whole nother level. Every year he throws a massive events for his past and current clients. He has concerts with Pitbull, Maroon 5, you name it. Now, obviously that's on a huge scale, and he has tens of thousands of cases. But the principle is the same. He's creating a memorable experience that keeps clients engaged and loyal. The format doesn't matter. What matters is presence. Whether it's birthday cards with lottery tickets, leaving business cards everywhere, or blowout concerts, the goal is the same. In personal injury and criminal defense, referrals aren't about perfect timing. They're about staying present in people's minds. Because when that emergency hits, the lawyer that they remember first is the one that they'll call.